Oh god. Alrighty, y'all. I am hungover as fuck. But you know what? The drama never stops. The tea is exceptionally good today. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up you guys, it's me Luke and welcome back to another video, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So if you are not aware and you've not been keeping up, first of all, where have you been? Second of all, I am making an after show special to all of Shane Dawson's new videos in his new series, The Beautiful World of Jeffree Star. If you missed my after show special for his first video, I will go ahead and link it down below for your viewing pleasure, along with two videos that explain exactly what transpired in Dramageddon 1 and Dramageddon 2, so that you know everything you need to know before hopping into Shane Dawson's series, so that you're all caught up on the tea. I need to stop. Seriously, it's getting old. Tastes so good though. Put a little honey in there. Anyways. Now before we hop right into it, make sure that you're subscribed and you have the notifications bell on so that you don't miss any of my after special videos, because we're having a lot of fun over here. We're gossing. It's just two of us friends chatting. Also, another really big announcement before we hop into it. I finally uploaded the first video on my second YouTube channel. It is linked down below for your viewing pleasure. It is called The Truth About Luke Alexander, and it is one of my most favorite videos I've ever made. I'm so proud of it. I put so much work into it, and I'd really just appreciate it if you guys check it out when you're finished with this video. Anyway guys, that's it. I know how much everyone hates long intros. Trust me bitch, me too. So let's just go ahead and hop right on into the tea. Ooh, it's piping hot, let me tell you that. Actually, it's kind of lukewarm. You get it? Because like my name's Luke. Anyways, oh my god, so much tea was spilled in this episode. Honey, there was shade thrown so many different directions, I didn't know where to go. There was shade thrown at James Charles, Manny MUA, Laura Lee, Naked Tutorials, Bad Baby, Kylie Jenner. Like, we have a lot. So buckle in, my friends, because today, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. I honestly think I'm still a little bit drunk from last night. Anyway, that's just gonna make this video a lot more fun. So as you can see, bitch, bitch. What am I, Brent Rock? Why do I keep calling you a bitch? I'm sure you're not. Anyway, so as you can see, I have copious notes. So we have a lot of things to discuss. So without further ado, let's dive in. Should I become a professional singer? Anyway, so as always, I will go through the video in order with giving you a slight synopsis as well as the highlights of the video in my opinion, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. Then we will move on to my general thoughts and my conspiracies for the further episode. Ready? So the first 5 minutes of the video are kind of slow, which is to be expected as like it's just the beginning, but exciting nonetheless. It's more just kind of like when Andrew, Shane's cameraman, arrives. They have kind of their goofy, funny moments. Andrew is clad in full J-Star attire, you know, gotta be on brand. And Shane talks about his thoughts about entering the beauty world, as he is now going to become a beauty guru, as he will be releasing his very own eyeshadow palette, lipsticks, merch down the line. Who knows? It's gonna be a whole kit and caboodle, and that's kind of what this episode is about. He goes over to his dining table where there is a giant bouquet of like roses from Morphe, and they're like $500, and he talks about how this is kind of like the symbol of him entering the beauty community, which I thought was kind of funny. There's like some talk with Ryland, yada yada, whatever. So then he goes over to Jeffree Star's warehouse center. Jeffree Star has like, I don't even know how many warehouses, like a minimum of 4, and then he just bought 2 more. I don't know, it's crazy. So he goes over there, and this is pretty much where the whole episode takes place. Now I thought it would be boring them just sitting down most of the episode, because the previous episode was like so adventurous and they were like always all over the place and traveling, but actually no, like this episode was really enjoyable. Jeffree is just so incredibly extra. Like there's this voicemail on the phone that Shay listens to on the way there. Like I don't know what it is about Jeffree, but just like he has all these funny little moments.
Oh, he just sent me a voice memo.
So I'm moving my Lamborghini in front of Star Studios, and I'm gonna turn on all the pinball now. See you in a minute.
He's literally so entertaining. He is such a character. I swear to God, I'm not trying to kiss his ass. He's just so funny to me. I don't know, there was something about this episode. Like I remember there was this one part where Jeffree shows his pinball room. He has his own arcade, and he just like runs through it, and he just seems so happy and free, and like his life just seems like a fantasy. I think the reason that doing a series in Jeffree Star is so interesting is because his life is so out of reach that it almost feels like you're watching something like fucking Harry Potter, because it's like, I want that life. I know it would never happen, but like you could dream about it, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I just really found this episode interesting. I just found Jeffree's life so interesting. There's a lot of people who complain about Shane making yet another series on Jeffree Star, but honestly, I really don't care. I love it. Like my favorite series that Shane has ever done on people has been the Trisha Paytas one and the Jeffree Star one. All the other ones I didn't really give a shit about. The TanaCon one, boring. Jake Paul one, oh, who could care less? You know what I'm trying to say? So honestly, make a whole entire channel dedicated to Jeffree's life, and honey, I will watch it, because that man is so incredibly interesting. But anyway, like I said, not trying to kiss his ass. I have some critiques down the line, honey. Just you wait and see. I actually surprisingly have quite a few critiques of Shane in this episode. Like, he said and did a couple of things that I was not really a fan of, which is surprising because usually I'm like all G with Shane, but like, I don't know, he said some things that were like, I don't want to say problematic, but like, I'm sorry, I'm such a tease, but like, I really need to go in order, else I'm going to like lose track, because as I said earlier, a lot of copious notes. So yeah, after Jeffrey talks about all the countless warehouses that he just purchased for his business, Shane makes the first joke that I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. Like, he makes a self-deprecating fat joke about how all he's done in the past 2 years is gain 20 pounds. And like, I literally kid you not even a chuckle came out of my mouth. And I'm not the only person who has seen this. I've seen a lot of people say that Shane Dawson takes the self-deprecating humor too far, and I really think he does. Like, self-deprecating humor is funny in certain doses, but when it's like your entire humor and it's all you do and you're constantly hitting the same punchline, is honestly just exhausting. It's just not funny. I feel like I used to find his self-deprecating humor funny, and I still do to certain degrees. He does it too much. Yeah, he's beating a dead horse. Anyway, so then Jeffrey goes ahead and gives Shane a tour of his warehouses, and he said this really funny line when they were looking at the bathrooms, and they had gender neutral bathrooms, which is cool. And Shane's like, oh, you even have it written in Braille. And Jeffrey's like, yeah, Braille, hi, how are ya? And there's Braille.
Yeah, hi Braille, how are you?
I don't know, it's just like little stuff like that. He is so off the cuff. Like, honestly, I don't get how he does it. Like, he's just so entertaining 24/7. You could tell that he was a born and bred entertainer. So after Jeffrey shows Shane around a little bit, he shows him the secret arcade room, like I mentioned before. And really funny is he actually has a pinball machine, like, made after him. And Shane's like, oh, do you use that to fight all your ex-friends? And Jeffrey's like, no, that would take too long. And I'm like, honey, we're only 8 minutes in and there's already shade. I'm loving this. So they leave that one warehouse to go to another. I know. This time it's the merch warehouse, because Jeffrey also runs Killer Merch, which is a merch distribution center, and he speaks about how he actually does merch for James Charles. Now, I spoke about this in my last video where I was speaking about how because of Dramageddon 2, Jeffrey cut ties with James, but a lot of you in the comments were saying that James was actually the one who cut ties with Jeffrey, but I actually couldn't find proof of this, so I'm just not going to say that James was the one to do it or Jeffrey. One of them cut ties with the other. I'm sure both of them wanted to, but yeah, I just think it's a really interesting thing, and this happens a lot in the episode because this is prior to Dramageddon 2, which if you don't know what happened, check my video out, link down below, second video. Before Jeffrey and James had their huge public falling out, they were so close. They were constantly collabing, and Jeffrey even says in the video, yeah, I love James. He's doing so well. He's thriving. He's like my little brother. And I like got weirdly emotional. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of James Charles. He honestly annoys me so much, but like, he's still a person, and what he went through is really rough. And I did used to like him at one point, and I thought their friendship was cute, and everything that transpired in Dramageddon 2 was just so rough and so harsh. It's so sad to see like the before, and I think that Shane is such a smart editor and such a smart filmmaker that him and Andrew are really gonna take us on a journey, and I think Shane knows what he's doing, because obviously he's editing this after what everything has transpired, so he can construct the narrative in a way that will really tug on our heartstrings, and I think that's exactly what he's gonna do. So anytime James was brought up in the video, I was just like, damn, honestly, just there's nothing worse than like being reminded of a friendship that you used to have. And Jeffrey has said this before with his friends, you know, Manny, Laura, Gabriel, Nikita, all of them, and how they effed him over and how that affected him, but we'll get onto that later. But something I haven't touched on is that the Dolan twins actually posted on Twitter that they sat down with Shane to make a video. A lot of people were speculating that this was about their dad who passed away earlier this year and all the drama that surrounded that, because, you know, James was apparently not supportive. It was like a whole thing, yada yada, whatever. But I don't think that is what it's going to be about, because that's not really relevant to the series, and I don't think they would speak to Shane about that. So I think that they're going to speak about their experience with James and why they stopped being friends with him, and how James would always like flirt with Grayson and all that type of stuff, because a while ago Jeffrey sent a text to James saying that Grayson, Cameron, and the waiter that James was involved with are going to go on camera and talk about the stuff that James did to them. Now, this is all alleged, but I think it would be really beneficial to James and to Jeffrey and the Dolan twins, everyone, if they just got in a room with Shane as a mediator and they just really spoke about what actually transpired and cleared the slate and cleared the table so that everybody can have their names cleared. Because right now, you know, James Charles looks really bad in this situation. Dolan twins are probably sick of hearing about it. Jeffree Star looks like the bad guy, like all this type of stuff. So I think that clearing this out and having a convo would be great. So fingers crossed that Shane Dawson does that. I don't think the internet is ready for that. I think it will honestly break us. But anyway, I'm getting way too into my conspiracies already. Let's move on. Okay, so then Shane and Jeffrey sit down and they start talking about Shane creating a palette. Now, they've touched on this and teased about this in the after the first series when people suggested it, and we all know it's coming. So this is where we get to see the behind the scenes of what it's actually like to create a makeup product and everything that goes behind it. And they speak about like, oh, I don't know if you want to talk about this on camera, like, do you really want to divulge all this sensitive information? And everything that they speak about the beauty world and the makeup industry and the cost of sales, how they mark things up, the cut that you get between your supplier and your distributor, how much money you make off of it, your profit, where you get it shipped from, where it gets made, like all of this business stuff to do with the beauty industry is so interesting to me, and that is why I really enjoy this episode. Some people may not, because like they're just sitting down and talking, but they did spit some facts. I'll be honest, I wish they said a little bit more, but they did say quite a bit and they did spill some tea, so we will get into that. But first of all, Shane talks about how he's insecure about creating an eyeshadow palette or just anything because he doesn't make a lot of things to sell, and he doesn't know if it'll sell as well, and he doesn't want to like put Jeffree out. You know, Shane is a very insecure person. We've seen that a lot, and I think it'll be an ongoing thing in the series, and even in some of the trailers and stuff, we've seen Shane working out, and you know, he's spoken about how he is insecure about his body. So I think during this series, as we divulge the beauty industry and Jeffree's life, I think there's also going to be a story arc of Shane dealing with his insecurities and growing as a person, and I'm really excited to see that because I feel like Shane really needs to like move past these things and the self-deprecating humor and all that, and I think Jeffree is going to help him do that, and I am honestly very, very excited to see that. But yeah, so he speaks about his insecurities with that. Jeffree reassures him, as always. They have such a sweet friendship. Jeffree is so sweet to Shane, and they're in this business room with all these people who enter, and Shane even says, wait, everyone's so attractive in here, I'm insecure. You know, another self-deprecating joke. I thought that one was kind of funny though, but you know, whatever. And Jeffree talks about his products, and he actually gives us a legitimate figure of the profits that he made off of his blood sugar palette, and lord, that figure, he made over $20 million selling those palettes. That is insane. That is absolutely crazy. Oh my god. And then anyway, they start talking about Jeffree Star's products, such high-end products, whereas most people get their products made in China or whatever. He gets it all made in California. He's right there seeing it. He's right in the production. He's making sure everything is fine-tuned, and he looks at it as more of a way of art. Like his palettes are a moment in time, and his products do look impeccable. Like they look amazing. I've heard nothing but great things about them, except for his brush collab with Morphe, which had kind of some controversy surrounding that. People just thought they looked quite cheap and everything. Other than that, people pretty much rave his products. Anyway, they speak about how he actually makes his products. So the blood sugar palette was sold for $52 and it cost $20 to make. So they're making $32 off of that. But then obviously Jeffree doesn't get all that money. You know, there's advertising costs, there's shipping costs, there's paying everybody who helped you create it. Like who knows how much profit he actually made off of, you know, a singular palette. But still, you know, only making $32 off of a palette is apparently not that much, considering that other brands will literally have like a cost of $6 or $3 and then charge like $48 for their palette. And they actually show actual brands. Like they even said Kylie Jenner's brand, which coming for Kylie Jenner, like honey, that is a lot, and I'm here for it. And Jeffree also goes ahead and shades James Charles and Bad Baby. So I was honestly quite surprised by this. You know, he kind of did like a compliment sandwich. He's like, oh yeah, James's palette with Morphe is so great, you know, pretty good quality, but it was made in China with really cheap products, you know, but it's okay. His is here and mine's here. Like, I just thought it was really crazy that he said that. I'm interested to see how James Charles responds to that. I mean, I don't think anybody thinks that James Charles's palette is as good of a quality as Jeffree's, but like, he really did not hold back. He shaded that motherfucker left, right, and center, and I kind of lived for it, not gonna lie, because you know what? I really do appreciate good products. I mean, I myself don't buy makeup, but makeup is expensive, and Jeffree Star's look like they're worth the money. That is for sure. And he said that his partners and his manager was even annoyed at him because he should have charged more for his palette than $52 because it wasn't the standard markup that they do in the beauty industry. But Jeffree said that at the end of the day, he didn't want to do that, and he took a loss, and he just cared about making a product. The way he worded it was a little strange to me. Like, he was kind of doing it in the way where he was like,
yeah, you know, I made a loss, but I just do it for the art. I don't like really care about the money.
Like, honey, I wouldn't exactly call a $20 million profit a loss. But anyways, I digress. I think just what he meant is that he could have made a lot more money on that if he wanted to, which, you know, true, I appreciate that. And I just think it's really interesting everything that they're saying, and I'm really curious as to what is going to change in the makeup world and what is going to transpire, because when you really think about it, what they're saying could actually change the beauty industry, because now they're revealing the curtain. Like, I didn't know that his cost of sales was that high, and I didn't know the cost of sales of other brands were that low. I mean, yes, it's alleged, but you know, once you put something out there, you put something out there, who even knows if they get kind of a lawsuit on their hands from Kylie Jenner's management team. Like, I'd be really curious to see, because like, they are literally making some really bold statements. Like, this could actually deter people from buying products from, you know, James Charles, Too Faced, Bad Baby, Kylie Jenner. Like, this could affect their businesses, and it could affect the makeup world in general. I don't know, I'm definitely very curious to see what transpires in the beauty world after this. There were also just funny moments, like when they're talking about the words that they have trademarked that could possibly be for the palette, and Jeffree says that, you know, we can't really do Illuminati for your palette, but we could switch around the spelling and make it Illuminati, T-E-A, like tea. Oh, the tea's cold, but not the tea in this video. That's hot. Okay, I need to stop. There's also a really funny part where they're talking about all of the merchandise that they could create surrounding the palette and all of that, because that's the thing, is you're not just selling the palette. It's the palette, it's the merch, the clothing merch, it's the mirrors, it's the liquid lipsticks, it's the brushes, it's everything that comes with it. It's all encompassing. Like, there's so much more that goes into it, so much money to be made. Honestly, I think I might have entered the wrong field. Is it too late to become a beauty guru? Anyway, so it was also really funny when Shane was talking about what else he wanted to make, and he was talking about how he wanted to make slime, and Jeffrey's like, Mark, Shane wants slime, get on that. And he's just like such a boss ass bitch. Like, he makes me want to be a CEO of a business. His life is just so inspiring because, like, unlike the Kardashians and the Jenners who come from a rich family and people like to claim Kylie Jenner is self-made, like, Jeffrey actually is self-made. He literally grew up so poor, and to just see him claw his way to the top was just so amazing. I know there's a lot of controversy and some people are gonna think I'm kissing his ass, but like, this is just genuinely how I feel. And I have made criticisms about Jeffrey in the past. If you watch my video on Dramageddon 2, I was highly critical of the way Jeffrey behaved. So I don't want anybody telling me that I'm being biased or on Jeffrey's payroll, because honey, this is just how I feel. If you have a problem with it, go ahead and leave me a hate comment. It helps with my engagement. Anyways, so Shane has been dabbling with makeup for a while, and he goes and pulls out some of the makeup he's been playing with to show Jeffrey some of his inspiration, and then he goes ahead and pulls out a Too Faced palette. And Jeffrey has had a lot of controversy with the brand Too Faced. I'm not going to get into this. I'm sure you can find it somewhere else, and I'm sure a lot of you don't care. But basically, Jeffrey has his enemies, and Too Faced is one of them. You know, to his credit, he did say that the Too Faced's packaging is good, but then he also went ahead and said that the actual formula has declined over the years. But anyway, so then they start talking about Shane's palette and what they kind of want for it, and they started talking about what kind of names they wanted, and Jeffrey was like, oh, we could have like anxiety, depression, blah blah blah, and Shane was like, oh, we could just have all of my disorders as the eyeshadow names. And I just honestly did not like that. I didn't think it was funny. You guys know I have my video on the rise of romanticizing mental illnesses and how it must be stopped. I think a lot of you know my viewpoint on mental illness jokes or profiting off of mental illnesses. I'm not like saying that it was such a bad thing, and I'm not taking it that seriously, but like, I don't know, I just didn't think it was funny. And once again, just that self-deprecating humor is just not hitting right with me. I don't know what it is. I'm just not finding certain things very funny. If anything, Jeffrey was a lot more amusing to me in this video than Shane, which is funny because Shane has always been so funny to me, but for some reason in this video, I just wasn't getting a lot of that. Whereas Jeffrey would just do so many different things that made me laugh. He honestly cracks me the fuck up. Don't get me wrong, I still love Shane, just not a huge fan of the self-deprecating humor. Another bit of shade that Jeffrey threw was when he was talking to Shane about how it's really fun already working with him, and Shane's so creative and he brings a lot to the table, so he'll definitely drive sales. Whereas when he collabed with Manny, he didn't really bring much to the table. And I was like, honey, like, Jeffrey really is not afraid to say what is on his mind, and honestly, I'm living for it. And then what's really crazy is Jeffrey says that Shane would have such high sales that he predicts that in the first launch of the palette, he could easily make $5 million profit in a few days. And I was honestly so shook by that, as was Shane. Shane says he has never seen or had that type of money. I don't know, personally, I find it a little bit difficult to believe that, because Shane Dawson is the biggest YouTuber on the platform. I'm not talking about subscriber count, but look at his views. He gets more views than PewDiePie, who is literally the biggest YouTuber on the platform. Most of his videos in his series will often have a sponsor, and he has the mid-rolls in them, not that many, you know, to his credit, but still, like, that many views with those sponsorships, like, Shane Dawson is ranking in that money, ranking it in. I'm not sure where his money is going. I'm not sure if he just lets Rylan spend it all. It's just weird to me. Like, it doesn't make sense that he's so shocked by all this money. I mean, later on, he does talk about how in all of his previous merch deals, they've kind of effed him over, and how he's really shocked that when Jeffrey is talking to him about creating merch, that he gets 70% of the profits and they get 30, whereas it's always been the other way around for him. And he's talking about how much money he's lost and how he's been on YouTube so long and he's such a bad brain for business. And I do get that, because Shane Dawson has been on YouTube for long and he really does not diversify his revenue streams. But he gets like really emotional. At first I was like, wow, like, is he really crying over like the fact that he didn't make more money? Like, I kind of get that, I guess. I don't know, I guess you'd have to be in the situation. Like, there are people dying, but like, whatever. I'm kidding. But I think what he was really emotional about is the fact that Jeffrey was really consoling him and saying, what are you talking about? Like, you deserve this. So speaking of other brands who over other influences, Jeffrey then goes ahead and speaks about how Too Faced done did Nikki Tutorial so dirty and only gave her $50,000 on the palette that they created together when they made allegedly over 10 million. So I do understand why Shane was super upset, because he had been exploited by all these companies and brands. So I think this was a really interesting video. I hope a lot of influencers watch this and realize their worth, because let me tell you, I've had a lot of people in my emails ask me to do sponsorships and stuff like this where they offer me literally dirt. And I'm like, first of all, your product shit. Second of all, I know my worth. Third of all, like, get out of my freaking emails, you're flooding my inbox. So I think it was really interesting. So then they move on to speak about everything else to do with creating the palette, such as how they're gonna distribute it. Are they gonna just do it privately on their website, or are they gonna do it in stores like Morphe? And they speak about the campaign shoot, which was so exciting. Like, Jeffree got me so giddy when he was talking about Shane's campaign shoot. He was talking about how there would be a pig, and I don't know, it just sounded so cool. So I definitely hope that happens. And then there's kind of this montage of Shane and Jeffree talking and creating the stuff, and for some reason I got like really weirdly emotional. Like, there was some really emotional music playing and the editing, so obviously, you know, Andrew and Shane are tugging on our heartstrings, but there's a lot of clips from Shane's past that are interwoven with this montage, and I just think it's really beautiful to see how far Shane has come and how he recognizes his past, and he's had quite a journey, and this palette is going to be something very special to him because it's almost like a part of him, because he's putting stuff from his past into it. And I don't know, it just really tugged on my heartstrings. I thought it was a really unique way of showcasing everything. I just think that Andrew and Shane's editing and filmmaking just keeps fucking upgrading, and while I still have my critiques, as I always will, as I am a commentary channel and I look for anything that is wrong, like, the editing and filming as always was really great. And I totally lived for the part where they were naming the liquid lipsticks. I just thought that was really funny how they were coming up with all these names and ideas, and they were so excited, and it got like me really excited. And of course with Andrew's POV camera movement, I felt like I was there. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it was the alcohol that's still lingering in my system, or the 2 cups of coffee I had this morning, but honey, something was fluttering inside me. Okay, so then when they finished deciding on the names for the eyeshadows, the names for the liquid lips, the type of stuff they're going to create, they leave the warehouse and they kind of part ways. But before they do, they find a dry tea bag literally just on the ground, and they read it, and it has this quote that is so indicative of like what's been happening. And I don't know, I just thought that was really weird. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people speculating if that was fake and they placed it there, because it makes for such good film. Like, that is just full circle with the whole story arc and everything. I want to believe it was just there though. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Shane goes in Andrew's car, they talk about it a little bit, they talk about their excitement with it. Shane goes home to Ryland, plays with the different eyeshadows, and you can just tell how giddy he is with excitement. Like, a lot of people have been speculating if this is just a cash grab, but you can really tell that Shane is actually super excited about makeup, and he's playing with it, and he's passionate. He's like a little kid who's found something that he enjoys, and he's just playing with it. And I don't know, I just thought it was really pure and beautiful, and it made me even want to play with makeup, and it made me even excited for his palette. I don't know, maybe the first palette I will ever buy will be the Shane Dawson palette, and I'll start playing with makeup because of it, because, you know, he's my idol, and if he can do it, why can't I do it? All I know is if I get into the beauty industry. James Chihuahua, honey, you've got another thing coming. And of course the video ends on a little drama moment.
Also, my cat had 1 tear last night.
Oh my god.
Isn't that kind of like art?
That's more tears than Laura Lee.
Oh
Fuck.
my god.
I just about spat out my coffee. Like, honestly, Jeffree is too much. I literally live for him. But anyway, that's a really great segue into what the next episode in the series is going to be about. It is called The Drama in the Beauty Community, and I am really excited to go ahead and see what divulges in this video, because Morgan is in this video, and some of you may know that she hung out with a few smaller beauty gurus in the past, and she's spilling tea in that video, and I'm really excited to see it. I think she's gonna do a little bit of exposing, a little bit, just a little bit. And I think maybe this is when we're gonna start really delving into what happened in Dramageddon 1. I don't think we'll get much in Dramageddon 2 just quite yet because of the timeline, but I feel like we might finally get some more insight into the drama that goes into the beauty community, and I think that this video was just the start, and I'm definitely excited to go ahead and see what happens next. So yes, I really did enjoy this video. I kind of want to give it like an 8.5/8 out of 10, because Shane was just not it for me in this video, but Jeffree really was. But don't get me wrong, like, I still love Shane, and there were some touching moments. Just the self-deprecating humor is just like too much. Like, it's getting old. Anyway guys, that's it for me in this video. Another great episode, another great after special video. I hope if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you thought of my video and what you thought of Shane's video. I would love to know anything that you have to say. As always, let's start a discussion and a little tea session down below. If you're not subscribed already, please make sure that you do so and turn on that post notifications bell so that you never miss another upload. And as always, my social media is just linked down below if you want to go ahead and follow me. I'm trying to get to 10,000 followers on Instagram so I can get that swipe up feature. So if you would follow me, it would be greatly appreciated. I sound so friggin' thirsty, but I actually kind of am. Where's my water? Thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see my next one. Make sure to check out the first video on my second channel linked down below. And that's it for me in this video, and I hope that you have a great day or night wherever you're in the world. Bye.